Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome my guest today, Sumeet Aggarwal, the Managing Director of Intellivision MENA and South Asia in the Intellivision office in Dubai,
Yes, that's right.
and obviously representing with the awesome Intellivision Arabic logo
Yeah,
shirt.
rocking the Arabic logo on the Apple Watch, on the T-shirts. We want to show the support for the region over here.
Yes, and that's what I want to do. Like the minute I heard about the Amico, when Mr. Tommy Tallarico announced it, I was so hyped. Even though I never grew up with the Amico, or the Intellivision, sorry, we never
Right,
had Intellivision. I'm sure you're aware. The brand was not represented in the region.
right.
The
That's correct.
Yeah, the people who got it usually got it when they're abroad. They see it there, they find it amusing, and they get it.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. Like I am an '85 born child over here, so I never got a chance to play on television. I always started out with the Atari 2600 and other brands and everything. And it was amazing for me to find out that the Intellivision is coming back to life. Tommy and I have been good friends for years, and it's been crazy ever since.
Atari had a official distributor in the Middle East, like in Saudi and I think even in the UAE. So Atari was represented in the area and people are familiar with it,
Okay.
unlike the Intellivision, which was much superior than the Atari, might I
Oh,
say.
thank you. Yeah, we were the guys who came up with the concept of first ever digital distribution, had
Yeah.
voice in game. And I
Yeah.
think the most important thing for all gamers is that we invented the pause button. So that was definitely a big win for us.
Definitely, definitely. So I'd like you to first introduce yourself for the people who might not be familiar with you, because you've been in the gaming industry for a while, especially in the Middle East here.
Oh yeah, right. So let me first say my name correctly, Sumeet Aggarwal.
Sumeet,
Yeah,
okay.
there we go. And it's been crazy ever since for me in the gaming industry. I was born and raised in Dubai, been here my whole life, and I've been in the industry for about 17 plus years.
Oh,
I've
that's great.
been working a lot as a journalist and editor for megamers.com. I would just do a podcast for them, which is now IGN Middle East. Then I was hired by Dubai Eye. I was a producer and RJ for them for Game on Dubai Eye, which was the number one gaming radio show in the Middle East for 11 years. And then in between that, I was part of the Xbox marketing team, which supported in the launch of the Xbox 360 and the Connect here in the region. And did video games live in 2012 and 13 in Dubai. It still goes on in various parts of the world, and that's when me and Tommy got to talking. And it was about 3 years ago. Tommy got the rights for the Intellivision and was like, "Hey, you know what? We want you on board to handle Middle East. We really want to bring you down to the Middle East." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." And since then, it's been crazy ever since. And I just absolutely love doing what I do.
That's great. So you're a veteran of the gaming industry.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you say veteran because I still think I'm a newbie in this because every year the industry changes something or some new thing comes out, and I actually get to be a part of it now.
That's a sign of a true veteran, always learning, adapting, and evolving.
Oh, absolutely, and we strongly believe that for our customer base, for our consumers, for the gamers out there who want that new experience to come out, and that's what we're doing with the Amico.
Okay, great. And so Tommy, he picked the right person for this job in
Oh,
the
thank
Middle
you,
East.
thank you, thank you so much.
From what I know about you and what you've told us just now, I can guarantee he picked the right person to represent the Intellivision and the Amico in the
Oh,
Middle
thank you.
East and beyond. So tell us about the four basic principles of the Amico because it's very interesting. It's a different approach than other video game consoles. And because the Amico is not really trying to compete with other consoles, it's in a completely different and unique category.
No, absolutely. The idea behind the Amico was is that in the world today you have 200 million hardcore gamers, and when I mean hardcore gamers, I'm talking about Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and hardcore PC gamers, the guys who build their own PCs and stuff. There are about 200 million of them. But on the mobile market, like a smartphone, you're talking about like 3 billion gamers out there who play video games. And not to mention, like the 80% of all video game purchases around the globe are bought by moms. And it's an unbelievable thing that moms are the number one purchaser of video games, whether it's for themselves, for their kids, for their families, for their husbands, whatever it may be. They make the number one gaming purchase, and no one in today's world can has made a game for a mom to play. So that's it's the sad truth. We've even understood from game industry biz that at E3 2019, so for people who don't know what E3 is, it's the Electronic Entertainment Expo where all the big gaming companies come together to announce the next lineup or the next fiscal year of their games. And we understood that 86% of all games that were announced at E3 were mature rated games. So there's not many games a mom can play out there unless it's on a mobile device. So we're like, it's time we do something about that. And in regards to the four pillars, we're talking about making it simple so that the mom can pick up and play. Tell your mom to press, if your mom's playing FIFA with you, and chances are you're probably a good FIFA player. I'm not that as good, but I'll
I
usually
don't
say,
play FIFA, so we're good.
fair enough. No, but imagine telling your mom, hey mom, press L3. She has no idea what you're talking about. Hey mom, try to switch on a PlayStation. Chances, just like you and me, we've definitely pressed the eject button first before the power button. We've done that. All of us have done that.
Yeah.
So we want to make it as simple and understandable as possible. And even then, one of the things that we understood was not only the console, but the controller as well. Now, many people can relate to the controller because it kind of looks like the original iPod with the rotational dial, a touch screen, some great features that we're going to talk about later on in the conversation. But one of the best things that we've understood is that for the first time, you can actually hold it, like I'm just using my phone as an example, you can hold it vertically, you can hold it horizontally, being a normal person, or for the first time, if you're right-handed, you can rotate it, and actually a right-handed player can get into the game, which is one of the best things that we've understood for people. The other thing is to make it affordable. Our price point should be understood by everyone, that we're not trying to be a toy or anything. We're a serious gaming machine behind this. Gamers don't have to break the bank of paying $300 to $500 for a machine that are like supercomputers. I don't need another Netflix streaming machine. I don't need to do processing like crazy. I just want to play good games, and that's what gamers ask for. So for us, our price point is somewhere close to around $200. Around $200 that we're expecting the price point to be at. We will probably announce the final price point at E3, but our standard idea is to make it around $200 so that moms don't have to worry about spending huge amounts of money. The other thing is the family part of it. We really believe in couch co-op. We want the idea. And we love the idea of people coming back together and sitting in the living room together. The reason being is that, people say esports is the next big thing, going digital next big thing. Yeah, if esports is so great, why do all the players come to one arena and play together? Because that's where the magic is. That's where the fun is. People want to see that big couch living room come to life in an arena. So we want to bring that couch co-op back to the living room. I can even guarantee you that your best gaming moment has never been in an isolated room, wearing headphones, holding a phone in front of you, and just doing this. It's always been playing games like Wii Sports, GoldenEye, FIFA. These were the real games that brought couch co-op back together. And you'll be amazed to see that people might say we're crazy, but Sumeet, like people are playing online, they're playing isolated. Like, what makes you any different? Let me ask you this: 14% every year from 2011 till date currently, 14% the board game industry increases every year since 2011. And that makes you think that you can't play a board game by yourself, which means people do want to play together. The last part is the entertainment angle. Yeah, we strongly believe that quality does matter to us. Good quality, wholesome gaming. And that's why we have a strong policy for us that we want to make all our games E or E10 plus, which is basically E for everyone games. And the funny thing about this, by being an E for everyone game, is that everybody can pick up and play. The mom never has to worry about what my son is playing, what they're doing. Like I know any game I'm going to purchase on the Amico, it's totally safe for him. It's safe for me. It's not complicated. It's simple. And the crazy, here's the secret behind it. Simple, affordable family entertainment. If you take the first letter of each word, that's SAFE. We are the safe console for parents and everyone out there in the world.
That's great. And there is a need for this kind of console in the market. Like all the other consoles are in that one direction. except for mobile, of course. Mobile is very broad and very like complicated when it comes to the demographic it
You know,
targets.
the funny thing is that what we try to do, if all the other consoles are trying to be like the Ferrari of the industry, they want to be fast, they want to be sexy, they want to go like do crazy things with the console, all that stuff. That's fine. We're not trying to compete with those guys. What we're trying to do is be the bicycle of the industry. We want to really like have people take a nice, relaxing path towards gaming. Without any ads. I can ride with a friend, no pressure, no nothing whatsoever.
That's beautiful. And that's one, like every pillar that you mentioned, that the more I hear about it, the more I'm like drawn to the Amico and really, really, I'm very interested in, and I want to spread the news. And you mentioned the E10. Like whenever I hear any or read anything online, they always hold that as a negative or a limitation for the Amico. But I don't see that, to be honest. And if it is a limitation, usually limitation drives creativity. So that's a positive in my
No,
opinion.
we don't see that as well. Like you can't tell me games like Legend of Zelda, Minecraft, Crash Bandicoot, Super Mario, Tetris. These are all popular games, and Tetris is the best example. Tetris is the number one selling game of all time.
Yes.
So you can't tell me that e games are not about serious gamers. Everybody till date, if they have a chance to play Tetris, Mario, Zelda, Minecraft, they will definitely do it because they know these are fun games. It doesn't matter what the age group is, it just matters if the game is fun to play.
Yes, definitely. And now, how about you talk to us about some of the team you guys have assembled for the Amico? You have,
Yeah,
uh,
we've got a crack team behind us, and I wish you just said you started the conversation calling me a veteran of the industry. I'm literally working with the veterans of the industry. If I combine all the years of experience, excluding myself from the office, I would be 600 years of gaming experience right there. And to name a few, like Michael Gallagher, who's the ex-head of the ESA, he's the guy who basically invented the ESRB rating. So he works for us. He's handling all our age content and everything of that sort. Perrin Kaplan, for many people who are into marketing, she's the leader or was the market leader for Nintendo that launched the Wii, the Wii U, the Nintendo DS, the 3DS, many of the Nintendo products. She works for us now. Mike Dietz, who's the original art director behind games like Earthworm Jim and many other titles, including Disney's Aladdin as well, and many more. And of course, Tommy Tallarico, Guinness World Record holder of 300 plus games in the make and still going. Like the guy's a rock star.
yeah, definitely. And to anyone watching this video and is not familiar with the name Tommy Tellerico, I'm sure you're familiar with the amazing music he's developed for a lot of games. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah. Like we're talking about Mall Combat. We're talking about he helped out with Super Mario, Cool Spot, Earthworm Jim, Aladdin. Prince of Persia. Like tons of games out there. In fact, he did the music of the original Tron game, which was unbelievable to see. Disney loves him for that.
that's amazing. And so now, you've mentioned a little bit the pillars, but why should someone buy an Amico? Like, who is your target demographic, and why should someone buy it? Like,
Yeah. Okay. So that's a great question to ask. And the idea behind the Amico is that it's the main focus is to give parents the option or not have the worry about like, oh, do I have to really break the bank to buy a console for my kid? How much is he really going to play? And I think the best example I can give you is understanding what me and Tommy have gone through. Is that and I'm sure you as well as probably been asked is like, hey, you're a gamer. I'm not a gamer. A mom has probably come up to you and said that. But I have a 5, 7 year old,
yeah,
and I want to buy him his first console. What's the first thing should I get him? And the first thing that comes into your mind is buy him a Nintendo. It's a normal reaction. I've done it as well. And keep in mind, I play all games. I play everything. I have an Xbox, a PlayStation, a Switch, everything. But the idea is for the kid who's just growing up on gaming, the first reaction is going to be buy him a Nintendo. Now you'd be amazed to see that me and Tommy both got a call a day later after the mom buys a Nintendo saying that I just don't get this. What's wrong with this machine? And we're like, why? What's the problem? It's like I have to dock it, I have to put cables, I gotta remove these controllers, I gotta buy all these accessories. How do I put parental controls? And then it comes with a bundle, and like, oh my god, the mom was like, it came with this game called Resident Evil. There's blood on the screen. My kids, what's going on? And we totally get that. We totally get it. Not to mention, it's like, oh, he's not even gaming anymore. He's just watching Netflix. A fridge today has Netflix built into it. I won't say which company, but a fridge today has Netflix built into it. And you don't need these kind of things. TVs are so smart nowadays. The idea should be to have good, wholesome family fun. It's about that mom and dad and brother and sister sitting together and enjoying games once again in a living room.
That's great. So it's for the family, and it's also for like you said, it'll make a perfect first console for a young kid. Very young.
Absolutely. Like we consider ourselves like, and I'm going to use a reference here, is where Steve Jobs, when he came up with the iPhone and the MacBook, it was the MacBook's always like for the hardcore PC guy. The iPhone's like the everyday consumer. You need a phone. He came up with an idea of something in between I've got to come up with, and it's basically the iPad. We consider ourselves to be the iPad of the industry, that in between the 3DS, DS market handheld, and in between the hardcore, gaming PC and console market right there. Not to mention, I'm sure the next Xbox, the next PlayStation is going to be dedicated towards the hardcore gamers out there. So it's time to start young and work their way up. Not to mention, like, if you technically would be the millennial of today, I would be the millennial of the past, and I'm working with Generation X, the guys who are born with building this technology.
Yeah.
So the next millennials now are having kids, and they won't have a chance to grow up with Super Mario and all these things, where we all started when we were young. We started with really good games back then. Now it's all Grand Theft Auto, Fortnite, PUBG, all these things. And, even the World Health Organization has classified gaming disorder as a disease now. And we respect that. We understand that you don't have to have in-game purchases, ads, everything blasted at you constantly, especially when playing a video game. When did quantity mean more than quality? That's the reason we find things wrong with the industry, and we're bound to fix it. We are on the goal to get it ready and get good games out there.
I heard an interview for Tommy a week ago, probably. He said something that blew my mind, where he said we're probably the only game company that will tell you you don't have to play 24 hours. Go out, have fun, but when you're at home, like, play Amico.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Because we don't, how much time do you have in a day? You got 24 hours, you're sleeping for 8 possibly, and 16 hours a day, that's all you got. You
yeah,
don't need to be gaming constantly on the move, being everywhere. And plus, like I said, you don't want to play alone. No one wants to play alone unless it's a single player game, which I totally get. But at the same time, you have to really understand that sometimes you just want to sit and actually have fun with playing a game with someone. And you can't do that anymore. You have to tell them that, no, go home, go online, log in, create a room, and then I'll meet you in that room, and then we'll start a game and see what happens there.
yeah, definitely. And you mentioned the new Xbox and the PS5. A lot of people would say, well, the graphics on the Amico might not be as strong as those consoles. Well, I'm sure your response is we're not competing with them, and you don't have to have the best graphics. Like you mentioned, quality and quantity.
Right.
You can prove that 2D games and 2.5D games can be fun for
No,
the whole family.
absolutely. I can use it with an example that has already been proven, which was the Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii is the fourth best-selling console in the world. Over 102 plus million units sold worldwide. And there's a reason for that. It wasn't because it had Zelda or Mario. It was because of Wii Sports. It was it was the
Definitely.
crazy game of just doing this, winging a wand around or bowling and all these things. And that was the best feeling of it. That a mom can easily pick up a controller and just start playing. And when Nintendo moved back to the hardcore gamer with the Wii U, with that big directional controller in hand, I loved the idea of it. That was great. But moms and parents didn't. They found it very, complex. They didn't understand that, oh, I have to hold the screen, I can customize it, everything. Like, oh, this looks like I'm holding an iPad to play on a television, and I just don't get it. I don't get this part of it.
Yeah, it's very taxing that Wii U controller. And another example also from Nintendo, the Game Boy. When the Game Boy came out, the original
Right.
Game Boy, its competitors had full color screens
Exactly. You
and
know, and
better games, but like better technical games at that
no,
time.
like I had a Game Boy when I was a kid, and I loved it to bits. Playing Tetris, playing all these great games on it was super fun. And you don't need the best graphics; you just need good games. That's the idea behind playing a video game. You don't need the best graphics out there. I mean, you can't tell me mobile games are so amazing. These are really supercomputers you're holding in your hand when you're playing a mobile game. But they're not the best graphics. Candy Crush is not like the most amazing graphics, but it sold really well because people love the idea of simplicity. They found it fun. They found the idea of putting three candies together and breaking a block and all these things. That was the real fun behind it. And there are many other games out there that don't need the best graphics. Look at Plants vs Zombies. That doesn't need a high end graphics to play on any mobile device, and it's still fun till today.
Amico!
I have a funny story about Intellivision in Bahrain. This is the only exposure I have to Intellivision in Bahrain.
Sure.
Like the only story I could find about an Intellivision in my country. One of our friends, like when his mom was in university here, there was a competition in the university, and the first prize was an Intellivision, the old Intellivision.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she won the first prize, and they still have the Intellivision to this day.
Oh, wow.
So
That's
someone back
fantastic.
then thought the Intellivision would make a good first prize.
No, like it's you'd be amazed to see how many fans are out there for the Intellivision, and I was amazed to meet such amazing people. Like we did a pre-order campaign, specifically in the U.S. and Europe. Sadly enough, I wasn't in town for that, and for personal
I was
reasons.
also I wasn't in town. I got the email, but that's why you should subscribe to the email
Yeah, no, for
on
sure. For anybody,
Intellivision.com.
for all people who are watching this, I'm going to tell you right now, subscribe to our email list on intellivisionamico.com, and you're going to get all the latest news. You're going to find out about demos, everything of that sort. In fact, for people who also want to try one of our games out, we actually launched Moon Patrol on our app as well. So you can go and just look for Amico Club. It's on Android, Google Play, and the Apple Store as well. And just look for Amico Club, sign up to it. You actually have the option of trying out the AR. We built a small little AR reality thing so you can see the Amico logo when it looks like when it starts up, and then get right into it playing Moon Patrol for a small 30-second demo. But you'll absolutely love it. But the idea behind the Founders Edition that we did was that a lot of fans were like, we really want some super collector's edition and all that stuff. And it was due to public demand that we put it out there. That 2,600 units. I'm not going to say why it was 2,600,
I
but
know
definitely
exactly.
we thought people would understand it who are the real fans out there. But 2,600 units came out, and in 3 hours, we sold out worldwide. It was an unbelievable thing for us. Now I got to sit and sign 2,600 units for all the fans out there. But I'm looking forward to it.
That's great. We touched on the controller earlier, but what can you tell us further about the controller, its features,
You know,
its unique features? I find a lot of things that are unique in it.
One of the things that a lot of feedback we got from people, and I'm just going to throw it out there, was the idea that the controller, because it's touchscreen, how good can a touchscreen, really get in gameplay? And I'm telling you right now, the moment you try it out, you're going to see that, man, the response system is so good. It's so refreshing. And the idea, it's fully customizable. Your buttons don't have to be on the top right corner. For the first time, you're able to customize the button screen and all those
Wow,
things.
really?
The rotational dial is really the next best thing. The unbelievable thing is that, on a D-pad, you have 8-way direction. On an analog stick, it's 16. For us, it's 180. So you have
Wow.
180 input direction. And the best thing is that the entire controller, including the buttons, are LED lit. So you don't have to tell your mom, hey mom, press L3 or anything. Mom, press the blue button, press the red button. And these are color coordinated. It's not that this is specifically blue. It can change colors in different variations in different games at any point of time. Even the rotational dial is LED lit, so that you can see the full rotation of where you're pressing and how is it going. Not to mention, it's got an accelerometer, it's got a microphone, it's got a speaker built in, and there's some hidden features that we're going to talk about at E3 2020. But that's all I can say so far. But that's it's one of the best things to see. Even the console itself has LEDs built into it. So imagine a scene where in Earthworm Jim you're getting into a boss battle and the console turns red in color, to give you that little atmosphere that boss battle arriving. Or you just received a health, so the console will LED light so that you are relaxed, you are safe now.
Oh,
These are kind of things that we really want to give fans the next wave of expressing their creativity in the games.
oh, that's great. I'm very excited to know that there are still more secrets about the
Oh,
controller.
absolutely. I wish I could say more.
No, we'll wait until E3 and see. But another great feature regarding the controllers and consoles is that you can connect up to 8 mobile devices to
Yeah,
the
so
console.
what we're planning to launch with is that we're going to launch with our standard box. And keep in mind, this is a standard. This ain't a bundle. Our standard box is probably going to be the console with 2 controllers and 5 games right out of the box, so that you're already ready to go. And there are situations we understand when it's Eid or Ramadan or Diwali or Thanksgiving or Christmas that you have friends and family come over. And when you buy a competitor brand and you have to play like a game of FIFA, you're gonna have to buy 7 other controllers, a copy of FIFA, put it on a high-end TV, and then it's like you're spending close to $1,000 to get this stuff done. We're like, how do we make this more affordable to the average gamer, the guy who's like, oh, I'm only coming over for one night. Like why do I'm not gonna spend $450 on controllers just for one night? So everyone's got one of these. They've all got a smartphone. So the idea would be that, hey, come on over, Thanksgiving, Diwali, whatever holiday you want to spend your family with, and hey, bring your smartphone, download the app, and connect it to my console. So that automatically turns your phone into a controller, which is you won't get the realistic feel or all the features that you have in a standard controller, but definitely for quick pick up and play, that's the best way to handle it. And we will sell other controllers, but we suggest that if you're just going to have it for one night, then definitely bring your mobile phone, play a game. But if you've got 4 kids at home, then yeah, buy extra controllers. There'll be even more features will be unlocked in the game.
That's great. And on the topic of the controller, will we see other? We know, I think I heard Tommy say that we won't release a traditional controller, like with a D-pad and analog and all this.
No.
But that's good. That's a positive for me, actually.
Right, same
It'll
here.
make the Amico stand out, actually. But will we see peripherals like a laser gun or like something you put the controller into, or like a guitar for
There
rhythm
are
games?
there are a lot of possibilities for this controller, and the best thing about it, because it's so like oriented and customizable, that yeah, we could see peripherals, maybe not by us, maybe by third party brands, but definitely even if you don't have those peripherals, then definitely you can understand that yeah, all I need is this controller to go ahead and quickly start playing. All our games, our number one like law is that every game should be playable from this controller alone, 100%. That is our law out there for sure. But yeah, we always welcome new ideas, and who knows what we have in store for the future. But definitely no traditional controller. We don't want to scare moms or other non-gamers away. We want them to understand that it's about them coming back to the living room, about them having fun with their family and friends all over again.
Yeah, and the familiarity of the actually holding the controller that way, it's everybody uses a mobile, like you mentioned,
Yeah,
so it's
everyone
very
uses a
familiar.
mobile device, so everyone will find it very familiar. They'll find it very easy, and like I said, the best thing is the orientation. That the fact that you can hold it vertically, you can hold it sideways, and for the first time, a right-handed person can play. Not to mention, like one of the many games we're working on is actually using the mic in the controller as well. So you're going to hear more about that at E3. In fact, I think our demo will be ready by then as well.
That's wonderful. And what kind of games should people expect from the Amico? We heard that Earthworm Jim is coming back exclusively for the Amico.
Exclusively, that too with the original team of Earthworm Jim. So it's
That's
unbelievable to see that.
that's magnificent. And you mentioned board games. You're gonna have like a lot of focus on board games within. And I've seen the demo for the dice and the controller
Right, and
on your channel.
there's a really good reason why we're doing dice. And it's not just for backgammon and all these things. There's a really good reason, but I'll touch more about that later on in the conversation. I want to end with
Okay.
that. But
Okay. Wow,
definitely,
that's great.
definitely one things you're gonna see. You're definitely gonna see you're gonna see some single player games. casual games, fun games, and like educational games, original arcade games out there for us. So we're working with some crazy developers and amazing developers who are just loving the idea of bringing that living room experience back. And one of the things that we're working on currently as a super fun game is the original brick game that Steve Jobs created back then. And if you see this thing, I'm sure it's in one of our highlights reel. It looks absolutely fantastic, and especially when it goes into multiplayer. Oh my god, it's amazing. Even the original asteroids, the most amazing thing. I'm sure there must be a demo out or video out by now. Is that you're going to see what it's like playing in the original Intellivision playing asteroids, and then how it converts into the 21st century in 2.5D. And people have asked us, like, Sumeet, why aren't you guys going 3D? And you know what? You don't need to have 3D to have great games. You don't. These are things that we really understand. Can we do 3D? Yes, we can. Do we want to do 3D? We don't think it's necessary right now. We think right now that gamers should enjoy the idea of 2.5D.
You mentioned developers. At the beginning, we've heard that all the games are going to be developed by you guys, by Intellivision.
Right.
But now we're hearing that there are other developers who are interested, and you kind of facilitated and helped them. You given them
Uh,
dev kits and even music. Tommy's going to provide all developers with music and technical support. I think Tommy wants to make sure that all the sounds on the Amico sounds magnificent.
Oh yeah, Tommy's doing all the sound work. He's been working nonstop ever since, and he's just one amazing guy to work with. The guy knows the industry like no one else, and and he grew up with a lot of people who I had the privilege of working with or even meeting with, such as Reggie Fils-Aimé, Michael Gallagher, who else? Hideo Kojima, Michael Pachter. He grew up with all these guys, and hearing their stories and working hand in hand with them is the next big thing. Even Michael Pachter, for people who don't know, he's the head of Webbush Solutions, who basically, if people love statistics, he's basically the CNN Money and Bloomberg of statistics of the video game industry. So, and he loves us. He basically thinks that we're the next big thing, or we're just bringing everything back. And we're working with developers like Nickelodeon, Disney,
Wow.
and many more out there, because they love the idea of families coming together and playing games together once again. That's the prime focus behind it. There's some really crazy titles that we're really, really working hard on that we know that's going to please the fans. Like, imagine playing the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade version, back on console with all four of your friends with an Amico controller, and the controllers are like the headbands of the Ninja Turtles. Like, they just turn
Wow.
red, blue, purple and orange. Like, it's just unbelievable. So these are things that are fun, that we know and we understand that friends and family are going to love to play together.
Okay, that's great. You answered a lot of the other questions I had, but we keep hearing about there's going to be physical games for the Amico, and we haven't heard what kind of medium, if it's going to be cartridge or CD. I don't want you to reveal, but what can you tell us?
You know what? All I'm going to say is just wait till E3 2020. We've got some amazing news out there. But one thing we do understand is digital distribution is very important to us. We have some amazing technology that we've yet to share that focuses around digital distribution, and especially within privacy, within friends, being a plastic-free distribution as well. So definitely we understand it. We understand the shift is definitely towards digital, but we understand also where the physical media has to come into play. And the physical media, you might not think what we're doing is physical, but I guarantee you that's the way of the future. That's what digital distribution should be in today's market, and this is what we're working on right now.
If I can put it on a shelf and display it nicely, I'm going to be happy, whatever it is.
Oh yeah, that's the that you took the words right out of my mouth.
Okay, great. And this is just let's have fun with this question. For the few developers we have in the region, what are you looking for if they consider or want to develop a game on the television? What are the requirements you're looking for?
you know, to be honest, we would have the same requirements as the United States, what our parent office over there. We want the games to be fun. We want them to be exclusive in some sort of way when it comes to our console. Our number one thing about our console is that every game that comes to the Amico is an exclusive. It can't be taken over to an Xbox, PlayStation, or a Switch. And there's a strong reason why. A Ferrari can't run on a diesel engine. So our technology is so great between the dual screen and playing together that it's not going to work on these consoles. They're so powerful, and there's nothing wrong in that. That's perfectly fine. But we understand that when it comes to mobile game development, for the opportunity for them to come to a console really doesn't exist anymore. Which is why, for the first time, we're actually asking that, hey, if you make mobile games, we'd be more than happy to work with you to bring your mobile game experience to a console so that more people can enjoy it. The other thing, and one of our strong pillars, is that no game should cost more than 10 US dollars. So that's the primary idea behind it, is that so that you don't have to break the bank when buying more games. You don't have to worry about, like, oh, I bought a bad game, I don't know what to do with it, all this stuff. $60 is a big price point in today's economy. And we totally respect that. Not to mention, so many gamers pay $1 just to buy a hat in a game. We're saying, we're saying pay $10 or less, and you can get the full-fledged game into it.
Yeah, it's going to be very convenient for a family of five, a family of six to
You know,
have.
Absolutely, and we're being courteous enough to give you five right out of the box. And we launch with 40 plus games on day one on our online store that anybody can pick up and buy whenever they please, the moment they get an Amico.
Okay, great. So, sticking with the region, and will there be any games developed specifically to target the region and the culture in the region so that the players and the families can connect and relate with the game?
Absolutely. I'm not going to say that currently at the moment we have that in the process line, but I welcome developers who want to make games for the region, for their regions, all accordingly. Keep in mind, in India right now, we're working with developers for the idea of making a cricket game for the
Oh,
region there.
by the way, I used to play cricket, just
Oh,
FYI.
fair enough. And how many people have asked, that, hey, can we get a cricket game on this? I'm like, sure. If you know someone who makes a great cricket game, we'd love to bring them over. We'd love for them to make a cricket game for the region. Similarly, for this part of the world, how amazing would it be to create an exclusive Captain Tsubasa game for the region here in
Wow,
full Arabic and everything of that sort, exclusively on the Amico. These are things
that's great.
that we understand and we welcome it for developers. We not only support the idea of Arabic localization, we welcome Arabic game developers along with any part of the regions across the globe.
That's wonderful. And you like also kind of delved in. The next question I have for you is, ever since you opened the Dubai office for Intellivision, you mentioned we're going to localize games.
Right.
Will that include all the games, some games, and will that include only the menus and text, or will we hear voice? Will we hear Earthworm Jim speak in Arabic?
I can honestly tell you that I can't predict how much of all our games will be Arabic localized, mainly because they're simple games. Maybe
Yeah,
some of them don't have heavy text or heavy voice localization, but it would be amazing to see Earthworm Jim speak in Arabic. I think
yeah.
definitely if the fans ask for it, then we'll work hard to make sure we try and get it done.
Did you hear that, guys? If the fans ask for it in the comments, please. And final question, I think. You mentioned E3, and people will get their hands on the Amico at E3. But any chance for the people in this region, or at least Dubai, to get their hands on the Amico before launch?
Oh, you know what? This is where my work starts today. My
Oh,
my goal for the region here is to plan the marketing campaign, and believe me, it's going to be a super fun marketing campaign for everyone to try out the Amico before launch because we really want to put it in the hands of gamers and non-gamers in the region. One of the things we would love to see, and many of you might know this, that I just spoke at the Girl Gamer Conference here in Dubai. And one of the things I would love to see is an esports tournament on an Amico with moms, moms and
wow,
their
wow,
daughters playing
wow.
together in an esports tournament. And I think this is our real objective out there is for parents to understand that I don't need to buy a hat or product or watch ads to play a game. I can really enjoy it on this console and completely, And one of the things I really want to touch on, we don't like DLC. We say no to DLC, no to loot boxes, no to DLC. there was an amazing time when you bought a game and you put it in and you just started playing right there. You don't have to wait for a 180 GB download to play a game. And like these are the worst feelings in the world. We want the idea of quickly pick up and play. Everything's already in there. I don't worry about DLC. I don't worry about credit card information, all what my bills are going to be like. I know I get to really enjoy my games on an Amico anytime, anywhere.
That's great. I'm really excited to see the marketing campaign you're going to develop and see it through until the release. So, with that, my final question is there any game you personally want to see on the Amico?
You know, the two games I really want to see on the Amico is Pitfall, the original Pitfall. You know, because our
Okay.
logo is the Running Man, so we want to put
Going
it
old
back in.
school, that's
Yeah, we
great.
want to go Pitfall and Dungeons and Dragons. You know, and like
Oh,
and I know, and hence the dice roll, my friend. You know, working on Dungeons and Dragon and Pitfall is something we strongly believe and are working on right now, and definitely that would be amazing to see out there in the world.
that's amazing. That's beautiful. My personal thing that I want to see, it's not a specific game, but I'd like to see more point and click games on the Amico. I think it'll be a great house for that genre.
Oh, and you know, I'm gonna and don't mind me, but I'm just gonna throw it out to the fans. Fans, if you want to see some games that you personally feel want to come to the Amico, put it in the comments below, and definitely we'll be watching and we'll take a consideration, 100%.
Okay, Mr. Sumeet, did I say it right?
There we go.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sure you're a very busy man and you're going to get even busier the closer we get to the release date.
Oh yeah,
So,
you know,
th-
I want to make sure you guys get the best games out there in the market.
that's wonderful. Thank you for coming in today and having this wonderful chat. I enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as well.
Oh, it was
And
fantastic.
and for the people who are viewing, where could they should subscribe to the Intellivision website
Yeah,
for
so
all the latest
yeah,
news.
let me put it out there again. Go on our website, intellivisionamico.com, and you can sign up to our mailing list and get all the latest news on the Intellivision.
And also on Instagram, Intellivision Entertainment.
Yeah, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, we're everywhere, and
Okay.
we're not gonna stop being everywhere. You know, till and even in your living room, we're still gonna be there, making sure you guys have fun all the time.
I'm gonna leave the handles in the descriptions, of course. And of course, if anybody wants that amazing shirt to get that amazing Amico shirt, it's also on the website as well.
Yep, that's right.
Just make sure you choose Dubai as your region to get the Arabic text.
There we go.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, and have a nice day.
You
Thank you
too.
very much.
Thank you.